Thank you very much, Jane. It is 7:09. There's been a mixed early response to government proposals for voluntary restrictions on social media for 16 and 17-year-olds. The aim is to prevent a cliff edge as older teenagers plunge into social media, having been barred from much of it until they're 16. Overnight curfews and restrictions on some of the features that keep people glued to their apps will be in place for 16 and 17-year-olds, but will be reversible by individuals if that's what they want. Amol will be speaking to the Minister for AI and Online Safety at 8:10. Let's get a first reaction from Ellen Room, who is the mother of Jules Sweeney. He died aged 14 in 2022. Ellen believes he died in an online challenge gone wrong. She's been campaigning for what she calls Jules's Law, which would make social media companies preserve children's data and give parents access to it, something that didn't happen after Jules's death. Ellen, good morning.
Morning.
Can I get your reaction, first of all, to the government's proposals for these voluntary restrictions?
I think anything that enhances safety or children's safety online is a good thing. However, I just don't think this goes far enough. Children are able to switch this off. So I just, teenagers, particularly if they're used to seeing social media and that sort of thing, they're just going to be able to turn off that function and carry on scrolling. So it's not good enough. I think the ownership needs to go back on the technology companies. They need to make it safe and they need to fix their platform.
I mean, I guess one defence of the proposals is that you gradate your levels of restrictions, that you need to make some things voluntary as people approach adulthood, and at least by putting the restrictions in as a default, you are nudging people towards a slightly healthier approach towards social media.
I guess so. I think one of the other problems is what ages are the children on these platforms. We've got children being able to put in whatever age they want. So that still doesn't fix that problem. We could have gone a lot harder with the restrictions and come out with more. I just think it's not good enough, really, just to have a product that you can switch off. It's a bit like offering a 17-year-old a bottle of alcohol and then moving it slightly out of arm's reach. They can just drag it back in. I really wish they could go stronger and harder with these things.
And we're speaking to the Minister, as I said, in an hour's time. What would you say to him?
Well, I think, these are small changes. We need to come in with much more changes that actually protect these children. And we need to put the ownership back on the technology companies to fix these sites. Addictive by design and auto-scrolling, we know that's damaging for children. Why don't we just remove those from the platform? I don't understand why we've still got children, accessing harmful features.
You are heading to court, I think, tomorrow to try and get a new inquest for your son, Jules. What is the thinking about a new inquest?
So when Jules died in 2022, the police never looked at Jules's phone forensically. I have then since paid for a forensic examination of that phone, which has uncovered some things. I've had to apply to the Attorney General. It's been a long-winded process, and the High Court date is tomorrow. Successful, I'll be the first British parent ever to quash and redo a child's inquest on the basis of that I want his social media data looked at. It may not give us answers. I hope it does, and I hope the technology companies haven't removed his data. But I'm desperate to understand why my 14-year-old child is not alive, and I think as a parent I should have the right to see that data and try for answers.
And what you have called Jules's Law is specifically about telling social media companies to retain children's data and give parents access to it under certain circumstances.
So that became law at the end of April in the crime policing bill. So it was amended that within 5 days of a date of a child dying, that their social media data must be preserved. Yeah. What I don't want is another parent in my position fighting for answers years down the line. And I'm not the only parent. There are many other bereaved parents also wanting answers. And so that law will help newly bereaved children. But ultimately, we have to stop children dying in the first place. We need to put preservations and protections in place to protect the children. It is great that, if a child dies, that data is preserved, but we've got to stop the children dying in the first place.
Ellen, thank you very much for coming on the programme this morning. Ellen Room there.
And as Johnny says, we'll be picking up these themes at 8:10, including by speaking to a whole load of teenagers then too. It's 7:14.